So are you ready to PR yourself? We'll remove the mystery from all things PR, and we'll discuss everything from our top strategies to tips and tricks and everything that you can utilize to further enhance your brand or your message. I've been in media, I'm a journalist, and I'm also a publicist. I am Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, and your host for PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I'm your host, Leah Frazier, and happy new year. I am so excited for 2022 to get here. Maybe a little bit excited because I just got out of the hospital not too long ago. I was having a little bit of issues that were genetic that I was not aware of, that sent me into urgent care and into the ER. But I'm back and I'm feeling better and more livelier than ever. And I'm so excited to start bringing you guys podcast episodes. You guys are binge listening to these, so you must be wanting some inspiration and motivation as you head into this new year. You've probably set your goals. You're probably on fire to manifest everything that's on those vision boards. So I'm so excited to be back. Today's episode is going to be so inspirational. I'm so excited to have one of my dear friends here in Dallas. Her name is Shantaquilette, and she literally fell into her TikTok stardom. It was something she did during the pandemic. It was something fun with her kids, and now it has turned into, like, she is literally a celebrity. She has been recognized as one of the top TikTok moms to follow. Just last week, I think she was reposted twice by either Steve Harvey. She's been posted by Snoop Dogg. She's had comedic chats with Tiffany Haddish. She is just on fire. And again, for something that she didn't plan to set out on this path of monetization and had this clear-cut plan. She just did something that she loved to do. She was naturally good at it. And I'm so happy she's here in Dallas and I actually know her. So she's on the show today. We're going to be talking about how TikTok has changed her life, hitting on themes that just say, you know what, you may not have all the answers. As you enter into 2022, there may be things that spark your interest. Don't say no. Dive into it, fall in, and just see, do I like this thing? It could be in alignment with your purpose. It could be something that you're gifted at, but if you're always telling yourself no because it doesn't feel right, or I don't know what these people are going to say, or I already have my professional career, you could be shielding yourself away from another layer of yourself that's actually purposeful. And so I think that's important about our conversation that I'm going to have with Shantaquilette today. And then she has an incredible story. You know, she suffered from a stroke and a heart attack and retired early and said, you know what, I don't want to be 75 with a paid off house and trying to go on these fabulous vacations and zip line and do all this crazy stuff at 75 that probably I no longer will be able to do. And so there is this underlying theme as she kind of launches into TikTok stardom by accident and just going for her dreams. And then there's also a theme of life is too short. So why don't you just try everything? Do what makes you happy, live with joy, inspire peace and hope and all of those aspirations within other people as you live your truth and your journey. So my question for you is, are you doing that? And are there things that are piquing your interest that you're telling yourself no to when really you probably should be turning that around and saying yes? I'll give you guys an example. I'm going to shout out Queen Afua. She's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen her Breakfast Club interview and you want to know more about holistic, natural lifestyles, you have to watch this woman. I saw that interview and I immediately purchased her book. Then I purchased another one of her books and then purchased another one of her books and then signed up for her 12-week program. And I actually graduate in February out in LA. So shout out to Queen Afua. But the reason that I'm telling you guys about this is that during our 12-week program, every week we have to concentrate on what we call gateways. And really, her program is taking you through life, having you to really appreciate nature and all the natural things that were placed here on this earth, whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever your higher calling is. It slows us down enough to be in tune with our spirit, to be in tune with the ancestors, to be in tune with nature, and to truly enjoy life. And I love her program. One of the weeks, we had to focus on movement. And I work out. I have my Peloton bike, so shout out to Peloton. And, I think I'm doing my thing. My house is beautifully situated across the street from a lake. And so from time to time, I'll go across, just lay out in the middle of the sun, take my dog who don't want to behave. But we go over there and I'm thinking, this is movement. I'm walking. Maybe I walk the block, walk around the water, whatever. But she instructed us that we had to take a dance class. Now, I can dance, I can twerk a little something, something, maybe not as fabulous as the girls on Instagram, but I can get down, okay? I can do the line dances. I can do all of that. But she encouraged us to take a dance class where we felt uncomfortable or maybe in a spot where we weren't necessarily like a pro. And I'm like, this is going to be a hard week. So shout out to my friend Elisa. We are meditation teachers together, and we went through a training together, and she owns not a burlesque studio, but she does curate the Dallas Burlesque Festival, but she's also a professional dancer of all modalities. And she has a dance studio in Dallas called the Ruby Red Room. And I signed up for a class, and I signed up for the burlesque booty workout because it just sounded fun. We weren't taking off clothes or anything. I don't want you to think that, but it just sounded fun, and it made me uncomfortable because I'm like, I'm not a professional dancer. I don't know that I have the fluid moves of the burlesque dancers. Like I've been to burlesque shows, so I don't see myself in that light, and it made me uncomfortable, and I went. And you guys, I just want to hands down tell you, it was the most fun that I had moving my body, the most fun that I had around other women. It was uncomfortable, but they were like, you're actually good at it, because we weren't going to tell you that every single one of these women in this class with you are professional dancers. And you kept up with every single last one of them. But I really wasn't even looking at them during class. I was focused on me. They had the big mirror, and I'm trying to get the moves right and the steps right. The music was on point, and I really enjoyed myself. And I thought to myself afterwards, like, if it weren't for Queen Afua, I never would have done something like that. And I'm just grateful because it moved me into a path of just unpeeling this other layer of myself where I'm like, I actually really enjoy doing it, and I want to do that again. I like that side of Leah, and it was fun, and it just really just made life a little bit sweeter. And I know that sounds really corny, but I really, really mean it. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're listening to this or someone that needs to hear this week, I want you to do something that maybe you've always been wanting to do, that it kind of invokes a little bit of fear in you, or maybe you're doubting yourself, or it makes you feel uncomfortable, and I just want you to do it. I think that's the spirit of Shantaquilette. I think that's what she's bringing to the show today. If you guys listen to it, it's an amazing, inspiring podcast. I just truly adore her. I've witnessed her journey from where she started to where she is now, and I am beyond impressed. And if you don't learn anything else from today, I just want you to just go for it. 2022, even if it's just one thing, don't beat yourself up about it. If it's just one thing, I just want you to go for it. Figure out what that thing is and just do the damn thing. And when you do the damn thing and you post it, because most of you guys will, I want you to tag me in that shit, because I want to celebrate you. PR Yourself Podcast wants to celebrate you. And I'm just going to call it in the spirit of Shantaquilette. We want to celebrate you just for going for it and just saying yes to whatever that thing is. And after we come back from break talking to Shantaquilette, we're going to hit on our PR hot news of the week, which is Pastor Mike Todd, based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is the senior pastor or leading pastor over at Transformation Church, which I listen to, but we're going to entitle that segment Spit Happens. And you'll have to see why. What has caused Transformation Church and Mike Todd to be in the center of so much controversy right now in the secular world, in the faith-based and Christian world? What has he done? You have to tune in, and you'll have to hear myself and my unofficial co-host, Chandra Gore's take on this. Is it PR mayhem? Is this a crisis that's going to shut down the church and Pastor Mike Todd, the influential pastor, altogether? We just don't know. So you're just going to have to tune in and see. But One quick word from our sponsors, and we'll get into this latest PR Yourself episode.
This episode is brought to you by Kitcaster. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. How do funded startup founders attract prospects and talent? Podcast interviews. How do entrepreneurs with exits find new deals? Podcast interviews. How do C-suite execs differentiate in crowded markets? Podcast interviews. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. Click the link in the show notes for a special offer. Celebrate good conversation.
Welcome back to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I have a very special guest on. I know I say it every week, but this one's really special because she was just named as the top 20 moms to watch on TikTok. And she was highlighted as a celebrity on Yahoo. And I can say I knew her when. So coming to the show today is Miss Shantaquilette Develle as the CEO and founder of Thrive Innovations. Welcome.
Hey girl. Hey, how you doing?
Hey. I am so excited for you because I've seen you out there doing your TikTok thing. And I'm going to say that because in prior episodes, I'm like, I'm not ticking or talking. And to see somebody that's doing it consistently, your videos are actually really good. Like they make me laugh. And I remember when you hit like 1 million views on it was something, it was a milestone that you had hit. And I was like, wait a minute, I need to pay attention to Shantaquilette and her TikTok. Just crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty dope to see where I've started in such a short time and where I am today, and really looking forward to the future and where this all is going to take me.
So did it start off as just fun and then maybe a couple went viral and you start to say, hey, maybe I need to do more of these? Like, talk to me a little bit about your TikTok journey.
Absolutely. So, last year, 2020, we all were shut down, locked out, tired. The pandemic just basically, it took a toll on everyone. And so I had downloaded TikTok in 2019, and I had this one video where it was actually my husband dancing, and my daughter came to me and she was like, hey, do you have a TikTok? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, will you do this dance video with me? And so I was like, yeah, sure, of course. And so she taught me what to do. And so I just started really scrolling through TikTok, looking at videos. And I just was inspired by all the other content creators on there, and thought, hey, I can really do a lot with this. But I really kind of started cooking and doing all kind of things, and I just saw the attraction that was coming from it, and the people who were actually inspired. And then emotionally, I really felt good because, coming from a stroke and a heart attack and going through all those, those theatrics, I had really found an outlet. Right. And then just going on there consistently on a daily basis, the followers came, the views came, and I'm here today.
That's amazing. And I think to your credit is just, you kind of just learned what worked along the way. I think sometimes a lot of us, it's like, oh, I look silly doing this, or everybody's kind of doing these dances, so what makes me special to stand out? But I feel like you just kind of found your own groove, because there was ones where I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so crazy, but this is so funny. I think my favorite one you had did, it was like the house dress or the muumuus, or and it just kind of reminded me of my grandmother and my great grandmother, what they would wear around the house. And I don't remember the actual message of the video, but it just stuck out because I'm like, oh my God, I have a connection here. It's just so funny.
Right. It's really, getting people emotionally connected from all aspects of life. And I think even myself doing that video, it made me think about my grandmother and the really great times I had with her. And that's what a lot of people, they saw the funny part and they're like, oh my God, my grandmother has been gone for so many years, but this just made me happy thinking about those memories. So it's just, I call it, inspiration, funny inspiration. And like I said, I've always, this is who I am, right? And so anybody who knows me personally knows that truly I'm a very humorous, witty person, just full of laughs, and I tell a lot of stories. And my girlfriend Shantae was one of my biggest cheerleaders, outside my husband, who was like, girl, all this stuff that you say and the stuff that you do and how you react to certain things, you need to be recording those things. And I was real transparent in one video, and that's the video that really, really put me on the map. And so I'm really excited to have an amazing tribe, an amazing husband that keeps me encouraged, and embraces my foolishness.
Well, I will say this, you and I go way, 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 way back. So it has been amazing to watch the journey, because sometimes a lot of people, if they're just discovering you and I, before we even hopped on, we were talking about how involved you even are on TikTok and those things, and you're touching people all over the world. But it's so cool to know that like you had a drive like to you were doing things, you were working for the government, but you had your blog on the side, you were managing other writers, and then you developed GlamCon, and then there was Girl Be Natural. It was like this progression, and then TikTok was like this branch on a tree that had already, you had just put so many roots in the ground. And so I want people to understand that, because sometimes I feel like they hear journeys and they don't realize like, man, this person's been working at this for over a decade, or they've planted so many seeds in the ground. And like, I just remember, I still have the picture where we were at some, like, it was like an art gallery or something.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we were at an art gallery. I don't even remember what it was, like maybe a fashion presentation.
It was a fashion, like some of the photo model of the year. Somebody was getting ready to fly to Milan, and they were going to be the cover of some magazine.
See, look, your memory is so much better than mine.
I remember it because it's such, so I remember all those monumental parts of my life, and especially people who have made an impact in my life. And I remember when, one of my friends was like, you do a lot, you can cook, you can decorate, you can do all these things. You need to do a blog. And I was like, what is a blog? Like, what does that even mean? And how much work does it entail? And so I didn't really know anything about a blog. And so I wasn't, a social butterfly outside, just the group of friends that I had. So I didn't go to events around Dallas. I didn't go to any galas or anything. And so I remember Googling bloggers, Black bloggers in Dallas. And you were the first person to pop up. And then I went on Facebook and I researched, and I was like, oh, and you had, and I'm, very, very spiritual. I plead the blood of Jesus. And I think it was Ashes of Beauty, or Ashes of Beauty was your the name of your blog at the time. And I was like, oh, I want to connect with her. Okay. Cause I definitely want somebody God fearing, I just don't want anybody surrounded by me. And God, if this is a great connection, she'll respond. And you responded, and you invited me to that event. That was my first, you and Michael Rodriguez, you both reached out to him as well. And you both have invited me to that event. And that was truly a game changer in my life, because I got to know a lot of people. I was able to cultivate relationships that I probably wouldn't have cultivated had I not connected through you. And so that pivotal moment of you responding and being really open, and really being somebody who wants to support women, it did a lot for me. It did a lot for me in that aspect. So I definitely, thank you all the time. You see my tears and all those good things to say that I'm just grateful. And yeah, it's been a lot of work, from the blog, and then GlamCon and Pink Peppermint Project. But the thing is that all these things came with, some type of struggle, some type of story. And a lot of times people see, they see the glory, but they don't know the story, right? And they don't know that, Pink Peppermint came from, losing two friends and an aunt all in the same year, and just going through that emotional battle, and really, trying to find a way to support women like my aunt and my two friends who are now deceased, and finding a way to empower women. And then, going into Girl Be Natural, which is my, consumer goods company. And, I'm a manufacturer and a consumer goods owner. And that even came from, my stroke and my heart attack, and trying to find, healthy products and things to heal my body. So everything that I've done, there has been a story behind it. And that tells you divinely that God is connected to everything. And so I'm continuing to walk into my purpose. My good government job that I've had, that I had, for, almost, not quite 20 years, but I was almost there, that I really enjoyed. And a lot of people, they didn't even know I had a job. They were like, well, I didn't know you, worked a full-time job. And I'm like, absolutely, I did. But it's not that job that you disclose because it's the IRS. So, I do want to make friends. So
like, oh, you're the bad guy.
Yeah, right. So and even that was a process of just, a process of elimination, right? That I know that I can do anything that I want to do, but I can't do everything. And I used to wear that Superwoman cape. I think we all do, especially as Black women. We're so resilient, we're so strong, but sometimes we get in our own way, right? Just trying to do everything and cultivate all these things. And God was really showing me, hey, like the foundation is set. Now you gotta work it. I'm sure I showed you what you could do. I showed you what I could make happen and do it. And so, as much as I love my job, I know there's more out there. And so, I'm going to cultivate that as well, cultivate that experience that I learned with the IRS to help female entrepreneurs, when it comes to business. I think I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm very versed and educated when it comes to businesses and formations, and just making sure that you keep yourself in order when it comes to taxes and those strategies that help people grow, especially for Black entrepreneurs.
And I just think it's so incredible. Again, it's like you were very fluid in movement. One thing came after the next. It all made sense. It all talked to one another. It was very genuine and authentic because it came from those personal spaces. And I think that is important, because a lot of people, they're too busy watching what everybody else is doing and saying, oh, I want that, and not even making sure, like, well, does that make sense for your brand or what it is that you're trying to do? And it's a hard thing to do when you're watching, maybe you're planting seeds in the ground and you're seeing other people sprouting up and flourishing. And you're like, well, wait a minute, maybe I should have done that instead of been doing this. And I saw that a lot in like our world with a lot of the bloggers and content creators, and them just trying to figure out kind of what to do when I feel like it wasn't the thing to do anymore. And you just took off. I remember it was like, okay, well, she's got GlamCon and now it's Girl Be Natural. She's winning pitch competitions, killing people, get that money. But I think, to your point, you had your shit in order.
Yeah. You have to. You definitely, have to have a plan with everything. And, and that's what I tell a lot of, entrepreneurs, especially if you are still working a 9-to-5 and you're trying to cultivate this side hustle, prepare yourself for the future, to make sure that when you do walk away, that you can really thrive and you can really take care of yourself. And I think a lot of people, they want the best of both worlds. It's like, hey, I don't want to have to give up this to do this, but that's part of the process. And I always, I've always lived by that 10-10-30-50 method, and never, and I'll say this is that I never looked at myself as retiring from my job at 60 and 65 years old, not even 55 years old. I knew that I wanted to be, by the time I was 52 years old, I wanted to be kicking it on the beach, and just having passive income, my passive income take care of me. That was my goal, to have my, my house paid off, all those different things, and not really having to work really hard. And I've seen it just in the industry that I work in, that people retire at 69, or they retire at 67 or 62, and they don't even live 5 or 6 years beyond retirement. And I'm like, no, that is definitely not the life that I want to live. I really want to enjoy my life, and I really want to, I don't want to be like one of those stories like, when's the last time you seen somebody 75 surfing? When's the last time you seen somebody 80,
Right.
Zip lining? No, I want to do that while I'm young, right? I want to do all that stuff while I'm young, and I don't want any provisions behind it. So just really making sure that you have your money in order, you save, and you do what's best for you. You have to do what's best for you. I've never been someone that, envied what someone else was doing, or even tried to say, hey, trying to step in lanes that may not be fit for me, because I know God has a
Right.
divine plan for me. And so it's like, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And as long as you have an amazing tribe, family, or whoever you have in your background to support you, you'll win. And I always say, never change the goal, just change the plan. And there's going to be a lot of changes as you go. There's a lot of distractions. I've had plenty of them, as you could see. I've had plenty of them. But it has never stopped me from achieving the things that I want to achieve in life, and truly, leaving a legacy for my family. The question was posed, like, what do you think happens after you die, right? And it's like, I know what it says biblically, but I'm really, at this point, I really don't care what happens to me after I die. I care about how much impact that I make while I'm here on earth, and how many people I can make happy, and the memory that will be left once I'm gone. That's what's important to me. The message that I leave on the world, the impact that I leave on the world. That is what's truly important to me.
I love everything you said, because it's so funny. Like literally in the last week, with several of my friends or people that I've been around, it has been this theme of, I don't want to work as hard as either my parents or my grandparents. Like, it has been a theme. And I know you and I had talked about it before, but for you to bring it up again, and literally I was sitting down with someone yesterday, and then this past weekend with a friend of mine who owns a studio, and she was saying the same thing, just kind of like, I could keep this going for the sake of the fact that people expect when you start a business, to keep it going. But she's like, but if, shutting it down makes me happy and moving in another direction, and I'm good and I'm taken care of, and I don't want to work this hard for the rest of my life. And I was looking at her like, I don't either.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think when you build a business, I think people kind of think in the short term. And when they think of legacy, they're like, oh, well, I have this business, and I want my sister and I want my kids and I want my grandkids to own this amazing business, and I want us to just keep it going forever. And to me, that's good. But for me, I see my business as, hey, I'm going to acquisition in 5 years. I'm cashing out 100 million. I'm gonna have equity in the business, 6%. I'll be on the board, and I'll be chilling, right? And that's what building wealth is. That's what building wealth is, and that's what truly cultivating the business that you're in is. Can you scale that business to acquisition? And some people may say, hey, I want this to be a mom and pop shop store, and I want to pass it down. That's okay. But that's not what God has for me. And so I think if you look at it in that aspect, that's what keeps you from working hard. I now talk to, people who have actually went to acquisition at $100 million and bootstrapped and worked really hard. And it's okay. It's okay. People don't understand. They frown on Black individuals for, selling their businesses, but that's truly what builds wealth. And hey, you get $100 million. If you got $100 million in the bank and you want to start another business, you can start any other business you want to start.
Exactly. And mine would be some little tiki hut right. In Hawaii on the beach where I show up in a swimsuit every day, drinking out of coconuts and not bothering nobody. That's what I would be doing, and eating fish tacos. And that's it.
Little coconut cart. Yes, absolutely. That's really important. Yeah, it is just really setting yourself up for success. And so, and that's where I'm going. That's where I'm headed. And I'm just looking forward to, all the great things that is planned for me in this life. Like I said, it's so short. Life is so short. It moves so fast. And you gotta live it. You gotta live it. You gotta live in the present. That's what I always tell people. Live for today. If you want to do something, do it. If it crosses your mind, do it. Right? Don't wait. Because so many people are still, it's 5 years have passed and they still talking about what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And in that 5 years, you could have made millions of dollars. So yeah, I just want to inspire people to just be great, live their dreams, walk in their purpose, and not work hard doing it.
And I love that is your mantra, because even still, going back to what we talked about before, you had all these great businesses, and then TikTok comes out of the blue, and now that's monetized for you. Yep. And it's like, you know what? You're in Clubhouse rooms, chopping it up with Tiffany Haddish. I mean, this is like the perfect picture of someone who's just living life, rolling with things as they come and having fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Little did I know that that's what TikTok was going to do. When God tells you to do something, you do it. You do it. That one viral video I was telling you, it had got taken down and it had got flagged. And I was like, okay, this is not what I wanted to do. I don't want to, I don't want to cause any trouble. I don't want to do anything that people think is bad. And God, at that moment, that next day, when I went to post it again, God was like, I gave you that and it won't fail. I gave you that. Trust me. And I did it again. And like I said, I'm here today with, some amazing, I call them my virtual best friends. My virtual best friends, they encourage me. I encourage them. And yeah, everything is just coming into play. Like God's like, never would I thought I'd be on a stage talking to Tiffany Haddish and actually having someone as dynamic and amazing as she is, laughing at my jokes, laughing and laughing and then, connecting with me. And now she follows me on, Instagram. It's really amazing. And some other, dynamic comedians out here have reached out to me and they're like, hey, this is great stand-up. And I'm like, well, I never thought about being a stand-up comedian. And a lot of them say, hey, no, a lot of people don't. But if it's a gift and you can cultivate an audience, you can. Like everyone that I've ever desired to meet, with the exception of Ellen, and that's coming one day. Dane Cook, people that I've actually admired and wrote down in my manifestation, Tiffany Haddish, you go back to my page and you'll see where I manifested, working with her, Daphnique manifested, talking and being in her presence and being able to cultivate a conversation with her. All these amazing people that I've, only dreamt of, and like, hey, these are just, just watching them. And as a fan, now to be able to be that up close and personal with them, it's just absolutely amazing. Even if it's just brief conversation, it's just he's just amazing. That's all I can say. I can't give him enough. I can't thank him enough.
So are you saying there may be some stand-up in your future?
There is a possibility. So I am working, so here's the thing. Right before the pandemic, well, I would say in the midst of the pandemic, or right, I'm going to say right before the pandemic, I had signed up for the Dallas Comedy Club, right? The Dallas Comedy House, to actually work on storytelling. And that's just to help me in my stage presence and speaking and things like that, because I've been doing a lot of speaking at colleges since over the past, few years for Pink Peppermint Project.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to be able to work on the flow. And so I signed up for Dallas Comedy House, and then unfortunately, they didn't survive the pandemic. And then I signed up. Now I have a course in August for a comedy club in LA that's actually doing a virtual, and some other comedians that I've actually met on, Clubhouse, just, really just having them mentor me and help me. So yeah, it is a possibility. It is a possibility. I really want to go into, writing comedy, SNL, and even maybe doing some sketch comedy. That's one of the things I've always dreamt of as a little kid, is being on Saturday Night Live and working with, Eddie Murphy and meeting my other favorite comedian, Dave Chappelle. He's my, doing movies like Half Baked and things like that. So those are some things that, I desire to do. And if that's what God has planned, then you will see me on the stage.
Well, I just think it's so fun. And I think just the reoccurring theme throughout this whole thing is just kind of letting life unfold and just having fun. And a lot of times we try to control so much. And sometimes the standard on whether or not we do something is whether we get paid for it, or when not realizing like, hey, if you just kind of lean into this, have a little fun, and it becomes really genuine to who you are, the money's gonna come down the road. You're going to be taken care of. But a lot of people won't let go like that, unfortunately. And then they do become the 75-year-old person that said, you know what, I should have surfed when I had the opportunity, or I should have at least went and took some improv classes just to have fun and see if I would have liked that comedy thing. Right. And they won't. And that makes me so sad when I think about it. But I get happy and I get joy when I see you, like one thing after another. I'm like, dang, I feel like I just talked to her last week. And now she's on Yahoo. And then we talked this morning. It was like, oh, well, I was like the top 20 moms of TikTok. And it's just one of those things like, well, this is like watching TV. Well, what's going to happen next? Maybe she's going to be in the next girls trip with Tiffany. Girls trip too.
We manifest that. I tell anybody is stop snatching the pen out of God's hand and let him write.
Oh, that's so good.
We want to snatch the pen and we want to write our own story. And God He's already written the book for us. We just gotta get through each chapter. We gotta get each chapter. And sometimes you might not get to chapter 5 as quickly as you want to, because all these things in the interim. But yeah, do what you love. And I tell people to say yes. They think that they have a thing to say, hey, say no more. But I've said yes to a lot of things, and it has been tremendous. It has grown my business tremendously, for my willingness to help others. And I think those come from the blessings that you receive here on earth is how you serve on earth, right? And that's what I believe. I can make all the money in the world, but if I'm not using that money to give and to help others, then it really serves no purpose, right? Everything that I do, there is a message and initiative behind it. Like, I'm not just doing stuff to be doing it, or I'm not selling Girl Be Natural to make products and make money because I see somebody else doing it. And so now I want to make products because I see somebody else doing great. No, I wouldn't have even cared to even make a product had I not had a personal need for it myself. and then was able to go through beta testing and focus groups to find out that other women are experiencing these same issues and there's no solution for it. And being a solution for those problems, for those women who are, having health related issues, how can I solve that problem? How can I make it easier for them? And that's what's important to me. Pink Peppermint Project. Had I not had two aunts and not two aunts, I'm sorry, Lord, I rebuke that. One aunt and two friends pass away, I can't say I would have had Pink Peppermint Project would ever existed. I couldn't. I probably would have been doing something else. But because God took me through that, then that became my purpose. And that's with everything, from the blog. I want to help women who have busy jobs still be able to do the things that they want in life, and that higher education and motherhood and career, those are all mutually inclusive. And that's what I wanted to do. Because that's the life I was living. And so everything that I do, it has a purpose. It has nothing to do with money. And I believe that's what's important. If you do what you love and you do what God has written out for you, the money will come. The money will come. I got on TikTok. I didn't even know about monetizing. I didn't know people made money doing TikTok. So now I get brand deals, and I have brands coming up to me, just similar to like I did with Style Follows Her, but not on the level
right
I am now, where people's like, hey, we want you to do this. We want you to sell our product, and we want you to do that. So it's just really amazing, and connecting with other major TikTokers. Now it's like a family. So now it's like, they reach out to you and like, hey, let's do this and do that, and let's fly out and collaborate together, and it's like, oh, okay, let's fly. You want me to fly all the way there to do a video? But yeah, it's really fun. So I get more excited about the world, opening up. I'm still gonna wear my mask, but
I think it's amazing. And I think the fun part is that you didn't go, like, so many people plan on, oh, I want to be an influencer. I want to do these things. And they think that you follow this blueprint. And for you, it was just like, I kind of fell into this. I was just having fun. And now you're one of the top TikTokers. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It is amazing. It's just, I literally cried yesterday.
Oh,
and not because, I'm a crybaby. You don't know, everybody know. Look, I'm a crybaby. And so, but it's just those tears of joy to say, God, wow. Like,
this is what you had.
This is what you had. Like, me being silly. Because, a lot of people at first, they were like, what? This is goofy. Like, I had people say, you're a professional, right? You're a professional. Or I thought you were a professional business person. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why am I not? Kevin Hart is a professional business person. Tiffany Haddish is a professional business person. Like, all these people are professional business people, but I guess they couldn't see the separation from, me being in corporate and then, being goofy. But, my manager and one of the highest managers right now in the government, follows me, right? And was telling other, because first I was like, y'all don't get me fired, right? So it's like, no, we're telling everybody to follow you, and and this is funny. And so, and then, working for Novartis, being an ambassador for one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies, to say, we love your personality. We love to see that you can do all these things. We love to see, we don't always want to see people like, hey, my name is Shantaquilette Carter and I am the founder and CEO. No, we want to see people with personality. We want to see people who can relate to our audience. And that's what's important now. That might have worked, 5 or 6 years ago. That might have been the concern, like, hey, yeah, you're, we don't want to buy into you because you're too goofy. But now, I'm just who I am.
Exactly.
And I never will stay away from that. I'm always going to be who I am. And I think that's if more people just let their hair down, take a deep breath, you'll see how far you can come. You see how far you can come. And I'm just grateful.
Well, for anybody that wants to let their hair down and maybe give TikTok a go, like what are some tips you have for some folks?
So TikTok used to be just dancing and voiceovers, but now you can really cultivate um your brand through TikTok. You can really tap into the audience or your target market through whatever you do. If you are an educator, then you can go on TikTok to educate. If you are a chef or you're a baker, do that, because there are people out there who desire to learn from you, and you can monetize off of that. There is a young lady who is in finance, and she right now makes $100,000 a month. She just started giving finance tips, and now she has amazing relationships with like Charles Schwab and Ameritrade and all these companies. So, you as a influencer and a PR rep, going on TikTok and talking about PR, just educating individuals.
Oh, Shantaquilette, give me something else more to do.
Hey, those relationships that TikTok has, it is one of the fastest growing social media apps in the world. And you have access to everybody. And so you have celebrities that are watching your content. And what I like about TikTok is that it's not like Facebook or Instagram. Like, right, people on Facebook are people you choose to follow, people you allow in your world, and people who, could care less what you do and who may care, right? Instagram is the same thing. Like, you have to search for the stuff that you're looking for, and you still have to follow people that you want to follow. Here with TikTok, TikTok puts you out to the world, puts you out to an audience that doesn't know you, never heard of you, and they authentically judge you, right? And say, hey, this person is somebody I want to follow. This is a person that I want to engage with. This is a person I want to see every day. So you have 100,000 followers who are truly connected to you just based off the content that you provide. And it's simple as that. And when you get these brand deals, you have Kroger's, Target, all these people. So, hey, Target may need a PR rep like Leah Frazier, and they may have not known who Leah Frazier is outside of Facebook and Instagram. But now I see what she does. Hey, I want to bring her in. Those are the type of relationships.
Okay. I'll create more TikTok videos, damn it.
And just be authentically you and make it, and do what's trending. But like I said, one of my friends that I met on there, Kenya, she teaches people how to build their brand on TikTok. She has 460,000 followers. She makes $60,000 a month, and she was teaching before.
All right, Shanta, shit, I'll do it.
It's your choice. I'm not trying to force you, but
the thing about it was that I had thought about it at some point, like the stuff so we have a segment on the podcast. Normally it's when we do the YouTube videos with another publicist, Chandra Gore, out of the DMV area, and we'll call it like the PR petty or hot PR news or something like that. Or I have my PR piss off of the week, and it's like the things that people do that they don't realize piss off publicists or that like get them blacklisted. And so I thought about doing TikTok videos to that. And I'm like, man, this is going to piss a lot of people off, but it's the truth. So now hearing it from you, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. I feel you have empowered me to go ahead and put my PR video. So I will rebrand my TikTok, and it will be along the PR yourself theme. And I will give you all the credit for empowering me on this day.
Absolutely. Yeah. I say I'm the master motivator, master encourager. And I want people to, I just see stuff. Sometimes I see stuff in people that they don't see in themselves. And I just want to say, hey, go for it. Just go for it. Do it.
I feel like
if you don't do it, you failed, right? So
well, I think knowing you so long too, and there's really just a group of us in Dallas that I can just name. I feel like we are consistent content creators, so it's not that much for like, you know what I mean, for us to create additional. So it's not much, it doesn't take much thought for me to come up with a TikTok video. It's just like,
Yeah, as long as there's a hey, we'll talk about it on the outside here. I want to.
Yeah, you're so good. You know, it's the turning the camera on me thing. Like that's the aversion I have, and a lot of people don't even realize. Like half the time, I'm like, when I'm recording YouTube videos, I kind of don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, when I did the business coaching through Marshawn, and that was one of our assignments one night, like I was literally in my hotel room with my palms sweating because I was like, I don't want to record these 3 videos. Like it was that bad.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. That's why I was doing the Dallas Comedy House, because I wanted to get rid of my stage fright. But now it comes naturally. After doing so many videos, it comes naturally. And that's the thing, all I have to do is post it, and that's what you think of. Hey, you're doing a video, nobody sees you, you're not live, and if you don't like it, then you can delete it. You don't have to post it. And so that's
fun.
So easy.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's what makes it so easy. And so I look forward to the content that you're providing, that you're going to provide, and the content you do provide. You changed many lives with what you do, and even me just being connected to you when I met you in 2013. Well, we're still here today. But yeah, I'm just really excited, and I'm building my YouTube. So plug, if you in a few weeks, I'll have my YouTube page up, and then my girlfriend and I will be doing a podcast called The Two Homegirls, and it's just 2 funny moms talking about current events, family, marriage, doing reviews, and we're really excited about that too. So I hope everyone who's listening will tune in. Follow me on Hey Shantaquilette. Even if you just want to see the professional side of me, then you can just follow me on Shantaquilette. But I promise you, it's not as fun as Hey Shantaquilette.
Well, thank you so much for, all the inspiration. I really am. I'm going to create a TikTok video on the next day or so, and I'm definitely going to tag you in it.
Yes, hey, I already follow you. So yeah, you got this.
Did you know that podcasts are a great way to grow your personal and business brand voice? Listen, here's a secret. We all want to feel connected to brands we buy from. So what better way to humanize a brand than through sharing your story on a podcast? Think about it now. You in bright lights and on PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Hey, it can happen. Listen, Kitcaster is a podcast booking agency. They're one of the friends of the show that specializes in developing real human connections through podcast appearances. So if you're an expert in your field, you have a unique story to share, or you have an interesting point of view, it is time for you to explore the world of podcasting with Kitcaster. You can expect a completely customized concierge service from their staff of communication experts. Kitcaster is your secret weapon in podcasting for business. Listen, your audience is waiting to hear from you. Don't make them wait too much longer. So what you're going to do, you're going to head to kitcaster.com. That is kitcaster.com/PR yourself to apply for a special offer for friends of this podcast. And listen, don't delay. Get with it today. A lot of your amazing guests that you guys love so much on this podcast came from Kitcaster. Don't delay. Next time it needs to be you.
All right. So we are back with PR hot news. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this in the PR petty file because never in a million years did I think we would have to sit and report on a pastor hawking a loogie and smearing it on a churchgoer's face, which they're saying now is his brother, but who knows? Okay. So what we're talking about, if you haven't heard about this story already, Pastor Mike Todd of Transformation Church, which I actually like some of his sermons, the one on Crazy Faith, his whole series is good. So I was kind of shocked to see his name trending and why it was trending.
So apparently this past Sunday, Pastor Mike Todd was doing a sermon, and he had someone for the demonstration come to the stage, another Black man who he's now claiming is his brother. And in along with whatever his demonstration of the scripture or the word was, you see him spit into his hand. And it was one of those long ones that kind of hang, like it takes forever to kind of come out, and it's long. And it went into his hand. And then he took his other hand and smeared it over. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there will be a photo that pops up. But he smeared it over the person who came up for the demonstration, smeared it over their face. And you can hear people audibly in the audience like, ooh, you know. And so apparently Pastor Mike Todd said that he was trying to make a point. He says that while Jesus was able to use his spit to create a miracle, he most certainly did not have the same effect on his brother. Oh, that was Mike Todd's. I'm reading from TMZ. He said that while Jesus was able to use his spit to create a miracle, I guess that was what the whole scriptural demonstration was about. You know, many of the people that actually tuned in, they were live streaming. There was many of the members of the church that tuned in and said, look, I was with you. This was a distraction. Some people, I was reading the comments, said I had to log off. But there was a vast, overwhelming majority of the members of Transformation Church on the Instagram account that was like, you guys just don't understand. You weren't there. It was clearly his demonstration. And I'm like, how have we gone so far to the left to where we can actually spit on somebody and say that this is part of the doctrine or applying the doctrine? Like, help me understand that.
God ain't nasty, okay? Jesus may have used his spittle, but we in the middle of a panorama and you gonna do this nasty. Listen, I missed the message. I am thoroughly like, anybody who's caping for this pastor, I ain't never heard of him until he did this nastiness. And that's probably why, because I'm saved to Jason. I just don't be in, with the preachers and things. But, sir,
people spit be stinking.
Thank you. And then for him to go up from a place of where he took it from. Like,
he dug deep. That came from the gut. Like,
that is from the pits of hell, okay? Because one, I don't give a damn brother, sister, cousin. I love my daddy to death. Don't get it twisted. I will fight the devil for my daddy. You feel me? But daddy ain't never. I would not. Okay, listen. I draw the line at that. Like, you gonna use that was not of God. God ain't nasty, and I don't care what nobody say. It's the message. What message is that? You are not like Jesus. Jesus may have used his spittle. And even then, there's misinterpretations of the Bible. So it may not even been spit.
People said that there was people that weighed in. Of course, there was other pastors that was like, he needs to talk to his elders because he's been straying from the scripture and making up his own stuff on his own time.
Clearly.
They said that with this particular passage, that even though, Jesus used his spit, whatever, like it was in private. It wasn't a public demonstration. So they're like, if you were going to do this, and I'm like, no, he didn't even have to do it. Like, you could just talk about it. We don't need the physical demonstration.
We don't.
And some people were thinking, because he is popular, has a ton of followers, is an influencer and all that stuff, that maybe it was to go viral. I don't think that he thought it that far, to be honest. I just think that if you follow Pastor Mike Todd, he's funny. He's very like outlandish. So I mean, I've never seen him going this far, but I don't think that he said, this is gonna go viral. I want to go viral. Let me go spit on somebody. I don't think that's what went through his head.
It may not have been. I'm stuck on this whole influencer, and see, social media has really allowed for people to push the envelope and not even thinking about it. It's like subconscious, like, let me see what else I can do to see, you know what I'm saying, to get my word out. Like the dude that had the eco gel and the sparkly microphone, that pastor or whatever with the contacts. Like, sir, listen, y'all not gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Y'all not gonna get the results that y'all are thinking of because one, I don't feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel I want to go to your church no more, sir. I don't feel like your church is going to be somewhere I want to get the word from because you out here doing nasty stuff. Now you're going to be known as a spitting pastor. We had the cussing pastor. Now we got the spitting pastor. Like, what? Listen,
I mean, I am going to title this Spit Happens.
Yes, you could title that all day, but I'm not. If I was a person of what's it called? If I was a parishioner in this church, you're gonna give me all my tithes back because you're not gonna be up here sitting up here spitting on people. That's just nasty, and I know there was somebody in church that said, "Oh my damn, Father, forgive me." Like that's probably what came out their mouth because why? What? Listen.
Well, of course, the Transformational Church Instagram folks who are probably super young just kept posting as if it was another regular day and a regular walk in the park. And a lot of the followers were like, are y'all going to address this? Because somebody definitely needs to come out and issue a statement because I was grossed out. I'm a member. And then, of course, the general public by that point. And then somebody says, you need to address it now before Newsweek and TMZ gets hold of it. And
TMZ
it's like,
had it while it was going on, okay?
Yeah, TMZ knew it was going to happen before it happened. So
I told you when I tell you about TMZ, they be knowing people dead before the people who's supposed to be dead, okay?
Yeah. So that already happened. But there was a comment that I saw, and they pretty much said, you know, the word of God will instruct you. Heed wisdom from a professional crisis communications team because God often gifts those type of people for such a time as this. So,
Amen.
I was cracking up. I was like, oh my gosh, get you some PR.
If I could, you know what, to be honest with you, I could not be the publicist on this because I would quit. You know what? This is not of God and you nasty. That professionally speaking, that's what I would say. Because in this age of camera phones and you know what I'm saying, whoever posted it first, you know what I'm saying, got the most hits and stuff. This just plain out nasty. Like,
but you know what? My prediction is I don't think this is going to do anything to his brand. I think he has a large enough following. Church will go on as usual. He may not preach next Sunday just because of the hype, but once it dies down, everything's going to go back to normal. His followers are going to continue to support him. He's going to keep releasing best-selling books. I think even within the church, because some of the pastors have unique senses of humor, like they may even throw in a spit joke or two. But I don't think this is enough. Like somebody was posting, like, you need to step down for the church. I don't see it going that far. I don't even think it was. I mean, it's serious. It's definitely serious, but I don't think it's gonna even do a dent in Mike Todd's brand.
No, it's going to, he's now becoming he's gaining that notoriety. People gonna want to tune into their online church just to see what he gonna do next. It ain't gonna be about God though. You know what I'm saying? Like people just gonna go in it, they gonna come for the spit but stay for the message. That's gonna be the next thing. That's the next sermon he gonna preach is, okay? You know, you may have come for the spit, but I'm going to give you a message. You know, that's what it's going to end up like. He going to sell a book titled, you know, Spit Happens. Like you said, the title
no, you better not. My podcast already going to be out with Spit Happens and Mike Todd in the same title.
Yep.
So if he does release the book, that SEO is going to be sweet.
I'm just saying, like, we already know what's coming. They going to put a whole tithes, you know, campaign on it and everything. They going to get this coin, okay? But why would you? Lord have mercy.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think anything's going to happen with his brand.
No.
I think it's going to be it's a small little smear. They'll get over it. I don't even think they need a higher communications and crisis team. What I saw on the Transformation Church social accounts, those people are diehard. I support my pastor. I support my church.
Yes, he spit on a man, another black man at that. So
That's nasty.
it's okay because he was doing a spiritual demonstration.
So was
In
that
the
a
name of
cleansing?
Jesus.
Was it a like? I need somebody to break it down to me. Was this just an example? Was it a cleansing? Did this man need some kind of spiritual cleansing? Like, I need the context on why you would hawk spit in somebody on your hand and then rub it.
As of yesterday, I don't think they took the video down. And to be honest, they're probably having meetings and they won't take it down because that's YouTube. Think about all of the hits they're going to get. They probably get exactly.
Don't get the church. Don't get the money, Pastor. I ain't even got
church is a business. We say this all the time. Church is a business. It's been a business. You know, my sister now has me watching The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with this Mary Crosby. So I have to don't say nothing. Don't say nothing because I'm still on like season 1, episode 4. And it's like, church is a business and all this stuff is coming out about her, you know, and
people, her closet though.
Exactly. She's decked up. Well, she can't dress. She's so tacky.
She got so many labels. She's like Giselle, but go ahead.
You know, Chanel, she has all these things. And it's like, you look at her, church is a business because that is from the congregation's funds. You can't tell me no different.
Sorry.
But we're not even going to get on that. That's a whole conversation for another day.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch we could discuss about that, girl.
Yeah. But church is a business. Spit happens. I don't see them taking this video down.
It ain't.
He issued his apology. It came out yesterday, so a couple days after the event. It was very lackluster, lacked any type of emotion, but he just says, you know, hey, this incident was a distraction to my message. And, you know, next time I'll rethink the situation and do something different. It's like,
what else you gonna do? You gonna pee on somebody, sir? I need you to stop with the bodily fluids, sir. Just cut it out. Just don't, okay? Because at the end of the day, like, what worked for Jesus not gonna work for you. Okay? Let the Lord do his thing. Don't try to mimic it unless you're gonna be flipping tables down in the temple next. I don't know, sir. If people want to come to Christ, you listen. If y'all want to get the message, go on over there.
TMZ is saying his whole purpose of doing this, it seems, was to emphasize his analogy about how, quote, receiving vision from God might get nasty. They said, we'll let him do the explaining because frankly, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to us. But he seems to be saying sometimes you'll have to go through some muck to fulfill God's will or something like that.
I don't think God meant that, okay? He did not mean that in the middle of a Panera, okay? You done gave that man the Ronas and everything else. Like, just nasty. God did not say do this.
I may have an unpopular opinion, but if I were PR for Transformation Church, I would just say, hey, let's have somebody else, you know, lead service on Sunday. It'll all blow over and back to business as usual following Sunday after that. And just keep it pushing. You know, like, I don't see this. People were like, he should step down. That's not going to happen.
No, they going to get their money, though. They're going to put that little donate tithes and all that.
Yeah, you have to understand how not only people are loyal because of the religious aspect, but they're loyal to Mike Todd as a brand. So there's a lot of brand loyalty there. They're loyal to his wife. They're loyal to the family image that they portray. There's many different layers here where Mike Todd is not going to get knocked down. Hell, if y'all let John Gray's ass keep preaching after he cheated on his wife 20 times and then used church funds to buy her a sports car, do you think Mike Todd is going to have to step down for spitting on his own brother?
Nope.
No.
Listen, if they let that man, you listen, all the pastors has ended up in child support court and they still riding for him. Let me tell you something. Black people and they pastor is never. The pastor can shoot the whole front row of the congregation. Well, he was trying to tell us something. Go on, pastor. Like, we just have this blind support for our pastors, okay? And listen, that man can't do no wrong in front of his congregation. So if they like it, I love it. Shit, I don't see myself. I don't see them leaving the church because of this.
Oh, they're not going to leave the church. He's not going to
have to step down.
Nope.
It is what it is.
Nope.
It
I'll pass
happens. And that's just,
this.
you know, the ones and twos on that.
I'm just saying they're gonna say our pastor is trending on the Twitter. Okay. Has your pastor trended on the Twitter? This is just gonna be a whole Now, you said he wrote some books. I gotta figure out what he writing about.
No, the book was actually pretty decent. It was with his wife, relationship goals. They had the book came out, it was a bestseller. Then they had a whole like relationship goals challenge that went along with it. He's very marketing savvy. Even people trying to say that he needs to go back because theologically he's not well trained as to the word and what it means and scripturally and all that other stuff. Okay, maybe they have a point, but he's never not been truthful about how he came into leadership. He always said, like, I wasn't trying to be a pastor. I was music. He says, I played the drums. I did this and that.
So he not like Joel Osteen, just giving quotes and never really opening up a Bible. That would explain.
I'd have to go back and reread about Mike's path, but my understanding was that I don't believe that he went to theological school or to like the seminary.
Oh, okay.
I think someone saw the guy who owned the church or who was the leading pastor of the church before him saw some potential in him, tapped him on the shoulder into leadership. And that's kind of how that went. But I don't want to put anything false out, but I'm going to have to go back out and research. But I don't believe that Mike went to any type of theological seminary.
Well, clearly.
I went to Roberts Wesleyan College, and, before we could even graduate, we had to take Old Testament, New Testament, the church, Jesus of Nazareth, like all these things where it's like, I have more theological background
is this in the
than
Bible,
Mike Todd.
What chapter is this in the Bible?
We gotta go Google what scripture this is that he just took and interpreted for some virality. I don't know.
Well, I was watching a Tyler Perry play before we got on here and things, and he said that he's tired of pastors, starting, they be talking about a scripture, they go right to the point. We don't see the beginning or the end. We just go right to the section that they want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that was how fitting that I was watching that play, and that was what Tyler Medea, what he do. He was given that whole, scripture or whatever, that because he said, well, Pastor, what happened before that? And it was about the story about the ass or whatever, and the virgin, whatever, when Jesus do doing stuff. So it makes sense because he might just take a section of the Bible. I gotta look it up now because I needed to make sense for me because I needed to help me understand. Like, I used to be raised in the church, but I ain't never heard of this though. I ain't never heard of the spittle and the hawk spit in somebody's face and just rub it on their eye. I would have punched him in the face.
One girl was like, I'm so traumatized. She was like, I think he has pink eye.
He probably do.
Oh, I was laughing. I honestly don't know what I would have done because there are times on a Sunday I'll get the notification. I have the app on the phone where it's like transformational churches, starting church is going live. But if I don't have anything to do, sometimes I tune in. I don't know what I would have been doing if I was sitting on my couch and saw that.
You would have fell off the couch.
I probably would have rewinded it, put it on Instagram stories. Like, did I just see what I think I just saw? I think I'm going crazy.
Spirit would have looked at you.
My meds are not kicking in right.
No, because a dog gonna look at you. You gonna look at the dog. You gonna look at the screen, and y'all be like, "What happened?"
A dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's, so Spirit can spit and smear it all over my face, and it's cleaner than what Mike Todd did to his own brother. And if I were the brother, I'd be thinking like, "You've probably been wanting to do that a long time." And you did this in front of
tell Mama
billions of people. His mama sits on the front row every Sunday.
I would have said, "Mama, you see this?"
No, Mike talks highly about how his mom is there. She's a praying woman. So Mama was on the front row.
So did Mama say this was okay? I need answers now, Mama.
You asked too many questions we don't have answers to because it was a limited COVID audience that was actually there present. The rest was virtually online, mortified and grossed out and throwing up from what they saw.
I would have walked out. I put my one finger up and be like, "This is not for me," and I don't want to stay for praise and worship. I know the choir.
I saw more people post that they actually just blocked it out, said it was a distraction, and got back into the word than those people that said that I couldn't watch anymore and I logged out. There was more people that stayed through it because the message was actually good versus those that actually logged out and said, I can't support this. That's why I'm saying, from a PR perspective, if they would have called Think Through Media, hey, it's simple. It's going to blow over. I don't really think we need to have this long, drawn-out crisis communications plan and have crisis. You... Yeah, there's not a crisis because there's an overwhelmingly majority of support.
It's a Black
from
church.
Your congregation.
It's a Black church and a Black pastor. And we will find a spin on it just because we will find a spin on the spit. Okay, they are Bible. That's the Bible Belt. That pastor, like I said, could have shot everybody on the first row. It'd have been for God. Okay, so therefore, there ain't nothing we can say out here, especially my Savior Jason self. It's nasty. That's all I can say. And may God be with that church. And I'm praying that they get all the tithes and offerings for the building fund that they need with this notoriety and the monetization on YouTube. Because I bet you right now there's somebody pressing replay on the video trying to watch it and figure it out. And go ahead, Pastor Todd. I ain't even mad at you, sir. Now, what you gonna preach about the next couple weeks? How you done spread the word of God through TMZ? Yes.
Well, he spread the word of God. He did it through his spit. He smeared it.
Literally.
Smeared it.
He about to spin this into, I got people coming to God based on what I did. So there was a blessing in all of this message. That's what it was. I ain't got nothing because he gonna ride this wave though. You know what I'm saying? Like this, he gonna say that he brought a lot of people to God because of what he did. That's the message. Bring them to the church.
Well, guys, y'all have heard it all. I am not linking this video in the caption. I repeat, I am not linking this video in the caption. I'm not contributing to the hits. But if you want to go out there and Google it, there's plenty of people who were able to screen capture it all. There's a ton of blogs, TMZ, all of them captured it. It is up. So I'm definitely curious to hear what your thoughts are on the matter. You can go ahead and shoot me a message, leah@think3media.com. Or if you see this posted on social media, go ahead and leave us your comments, what your thoughts are. Give us your PR twist. You've been listening long enough. Do you think Mike's headed for a crisis? Transformation Church is headed for a crisis? Or do you think they're going to rebound and be okay? We gave you our opinions as PR professionals, but I'm definitely always curious to hear what you guys think. And of course, we're going to be monitoring this case and coming back to you guys and letting you know what other craziness is. But I do encourage you to stay tuned. We have other hot PR news. Man, this one that Chandra and I are going to come back to you with in an episode or two to talk about deals with domestic violence, a celebrity rapper's girlfriend, and Rihanna and the Savage X Fenty crew. So you're not going to want to miss that one. So thanks so much for tuning in. You know what to do if this one hit you in a way where you're like, oh, let's talk about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and share this out. Tag PR Yourself Podcast on Instagram, and we will reshare and shout you out as well.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Be sure to check back with us next week or maybe the week after as we drop another new episode here to inspire and motivate you as you move into 2022, realizing and going for all of your dreams. And maybe if it's just one dream, that's more than zero, right? That's more than just sitting back and watching life happen to you versus you just jumping right in and going for those things that you really want. If we didn't learn anything else from Shantaquilette, we definitely learned that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You know what you can do. Help us out. If you really like this, if you were inspired to get going, hit Shantaquilette up at Hey ShantaQ. But also go ahead and like, comment, and share this podcast episode. We're all over the place now. We just hit iHeartRadio. We're still waiting on Pandora, but we're in at least 15 plus platforms. So go ahead and leave us a review. Let people know that you love PR Yourself and share it, comment it, and do everything else you need to do to get this out. We are the number 8 top PR podcast in the world, and that is all because of you guys. If you have any episode suggestions, you know what to do. Hit me up on PR Yourself Podcast on Instagram, or you can email me directly, Leah at think3, spell 3 all the way out, media.com. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time.